Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
Good evening, Mission Pro family. It is time for your Mission Pro Spotlight. I am, of course, Mind Runner, not Mid Runner, as Thunder Rosa likes to call me. And with me is my tag team partner, the most awesome sauce, most non-skibbity Riz, she's totally busting. I'm talking about, of course, my slang guru here, Angel Marie. Angel, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, but we're not even 5 seconds. We're not even 5 seconds in. How are you doing this again? I told you.
Well,
only slay.
All right, only slay. All right, well, I will slay. I will make
only
it up
slay.
to you because our guest at this time is totally gonna slay. Another one of the super fans of women's wrestling, huge proponent, good friend of ours, and a podcast sister. Let's welcome to the stage our guest. Madi the Madness Kennedi.
Oh, hello.
Added the madness because we have the heel, so I figured Madi the Madness kind of works. I don't know, you could take it or leave it.
I liked it. Mary texted me. She's like, I didn't know you had a nickname. And I was like, neither did I, but I'm feeling it. I like it.
Does it slay? Does it slay?
I think it slays. I feel like it slays.
Very cool. Very cool. So happy to have you over here. We had so much fun with you and Mary. For those of you that don't know, we were on the Meet Us in the Ring podcast, and we had a fantasy draft. And that was pretty interesting, especially pretty revealing. Now, Angel, how do you think we did in the draft?
Not trying to be biased here, but I think Team Mission Pro would win.
Oh, okay.
Just maybe. I think we would win.
Maddie, you seem pretty confident in some, but there were a couple folks that we snatched from you. Any regrets or any misses that you felt?
I really wanted Cody Rhodes, but we did get the tribal chief, and that was enough for me. So
wait, I don't see Solo on your roster. You said you had the tribal chief.
The OTC.
I'm just as long as Jacob doesn't come for me, I'm
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Whatever makes Jacob Fatu happy, I'm cool with that. Well, in the chat, let us know what you think. And again, no bias here. With these are the drafts that we chose. You on the right, you see Mission Pro Wrestling, and on the left, Meet Us in the Ring. Who do you think has the stronger or more balanced roster? Who has the better women's division? I think it's kind of 50-50. My only thing is I'm ashamed. I think instead of Cora Jade, we should have taken Stephanie Vecker. I think after watching that tag team match, that's what I was. Cap Daddy's got a response. Nobody won because the infamous Tangaloa wasn't drafted.
Oh,
very cool. Very, very cool. And also Brent Ross is in the chat. He's ready for some spotlight. So let us know what you think about this fantasy draft, and we'll see. And we are going to be talking about who has the best women's division of all time. But I did notice in the chat, and Maddie, you are the focus, you are the spotlight. But we've got the Mission Pro family, I do believe, has a very special, one of our friends, one of our loyal members of the Mission Pro family is in the chat. always here, always spreading the love, huge supporter of women's wrestling. And I am talking about our friend Pepe Poteet. Pepe posted earlier, this emoji code, happy birthday to me. Happy turned 38. And what's that? Oh, just from our producers, we have a special message for Pepe. Pepe, a celebrity has decided to drop a little message for you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from this special celebrity.
Yo, what's good, Pepe Poti? But Shizzle, I heard it's your birthday. So let's all hydrate and smoke a fatty for your birthday. Happy birthday to you, for Shizzle.
All right, faux shizzle. Happy birthday, Pepe. It feels great. We're grateful for you, Pepe. Hope the leg's better. We love seeing you in the chat. And wow, from the Snoop Dizzle himself celebrating you. Are you a Snoop Dizzle fan, Maddie?
Oh, absolutely. I love the Snoop Doggy Dog.
Now he's back to Snoop Dogg because I knew he was Snoop Lion there for a while. I don't know if that's stuck or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's always going to be the Snoop Dogg.
Angel Marie, is Snoop still popular among the youngsters, or is he old? Is that like when my dad would try to get me to listen to Bob Dylan?
Not. I have no clue who that is. I'm so sorry, but he's like kind of popular. Oh no, is that a bad thing?
You know.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But no, Snoop's like kind of relevant-ish. kind of.
No. Well,
slightly. I'm sorry.
Here's the problem. Angel Marie's generation, they are going to see Snoop Dogg as like Martha Stewart's husband or something.
No.
Like they see him doing all these Martha Stewart collabs, so they're going to be like, I already knew it was over when I heard music I grew up with on the oldies station. I mean, come on now, let's get there. But anyways, we're here to celebrate you, Maddie. You are the focus. You are the spotlight. And let's allow everyone else to get a chance to get to know you. And the best way we found to do that is to rip off Sean Evans from Hot Ones, a thing called Instant Insanity. That's totally not Explain That, Graham. But this is our thing called Instant Insanity, where we went a deep dive into your Instagram, Maddie, and we found some pictures that probably need a little more context. We're hoping you can provide that context. They're tasteful. We found the more tasteful ones. Some of the other ones we left out for, we get demonetized. So anyways, here we are, Insta Insanity with Maddie.
Welcome! It's Insta Insanity!
All right, Insta Insanity. Here we go. And photo number one, I really like, and I've seen this a few times, but tell us about this awesome meet cute.
Oh, so I went to San Diego for TwitchCon. I went with my friend Jeff. Shout out Jeff. And Mary, of course, lives in San Diego. And so her and her brother Jonathan drove to our hotel to come meet us. And we went out for some drinks. And what I loved, I think, most about meeting Mary in person was that there was no like awkward phase. It was just like felt that we just had known each other for so long, and we kind of have in a sense, but never had met in person before.
Oh, wow.
So to just click instantly with her in person and with her brother was just so much fun. It was so sad saying bye, but I just had so much fun with her, and she's just the best. I would not want to do a podcast with anyone else. It's just been so great that we've become such good friends through this as well.
That's awesome. How long did you get to hang out with her? Was it just one night?
It was just one night. I was in San Diego for about, I think, 4 nights total, and I think she had some other stuff going on. Obviously, I was at the actual convention center, but she took the time to come down, and of course, I made time for my girl Mary, absolutely. And it was just so cool. She actually had FaceTimed me as soon as I landed and was like, "Oh my God, we're in the same city," which was so fun. She is one of the greatest people I know. I love her so much, and I love this picture. I actually had sent it to my parents, and my dad was like, "You look so happy. It's so good to see." And I love this picture so much.
You both look so happy. I mean, and again, isn't it something
Mhm.
how it's like you don't skip a beat,
Yeah,
because when you're who you are, when you are genuine in your social media and who you are, then you don't skip a beat when you meet up. And
absolutely.
now, any plans on maybe a WrestleMania meetup or something like that?
We do have plans. After looking at those Mania ticket prices, though, it's a little like, I do have the bills to pay, but we will be hopefully meeting up next year in Vegas, and I'm just so excited to see her again. I'm so excited to spend more time with her instead of just one night. She is just so much fun, and I just can't wait to see her again.
Cap Daddy says 2 goats in that picture.
Love you, Cap.
And Kindness, God good. Hey, Mission Pro Wrestling. Hey, Kindness. Thank you so much for hanging out. Okay. Pepe, I think, is referring to Snoop and Martha Stewart.
Oh,
Not, yeah.
I mean, Mary,
I looked at the time on that one and I was like, oh, that was okay. All right.
I think Mary's husband would have an issue with that.
Yeah, I don't think they have the upside down pineapple sign or anything like that. But moving right along. This intrigued me here.
Ooh.
What's going on in this photo?
So this is actually my friend Shay's. I believe they're like fortune teller cards.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one night after we had worked. I'm a bartender for reference, and I work in one of the busier districts in Washington, D.C., or busier areas, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And we had just worked a very brutal shift. It was like the busiest festival of the year. It was like 2 a.m, and it was freezing outside. And we just had really bonded that day. And so we just sat outside, and we weren't drinking. We just had some water, and we were just sitting at one of the tables that we had outside, and we were just playing some cards. And it was one of these moments where I'm like, this is a moment where I feel such genuine happiness and such a close connection to my newfound friends. And just something that I like to remember, because for me, pictures like this, I remember the feelings in them as well. And it was a wonderful moment for me. And it felt like I have such good friends. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. And it's a pretty cool picture. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah, it is. It's like, and sometimes like the senses, like the smell or the feel of a sticky table that you and your friends may have played beer pong, or maybe you guys had a pizza party or something. And are these just playing cards, or are these like those fortune cards kind of thing?
They're like fortune cards. So Shay was kind of like reading our fortune, and it was kind of just like a more for fun thing, I know. But I thought they were really beautiful cards as well. And they just worked so well for the picture. They were just so like pleasing to look at,
I really like that one in the foreground, with the kind of like that rainbow kind of sparkle.
It's beautiful.
I did just now notice the snake around it.
Yeah.
Eating its own tail. Oh, very nice. Angel Marie, what would my fortune be, you think? If I promise
your
to stop
fortune.
misusing slang.
I was going to say, I see in the foreseeable future that you will stop using terrible slang at the wrong times. Because it's a problem.
Angel Marie, marketing idea. Here you go. Modernized tarot cards for the modern slang. So instead, you now have the Slay card, the Skibbity Riz card, the Giga Chazzing card, right?
Oh my God.
I mean, think
Decline.
about it. Decline. Oh, you can make a lot of money with that. Anyways. All right. And Pepe wants to say for his birthday, he just ate a Deadpool chimichanga flavored pizza.
Woohoo!
Go get it. And then the Cap Daddy wants to know, hey, hey, send one to the Mission Pro studio, please. I would love to have that one. Let's talk about the EST here.
Oh my God. This was the day of Raw 30, and it was in Philadelphia. I am born and raised in Philadelphia. Obviously do not live there anymore, but Bianca was doing one of the Cricket Wireless meetups in Philly. And so me and my best friend woke up at like 4:30 in the morning and drove up there. We wanted to be early. It was freezing cold. It was raining. We stood in line for about 2 hours. But it was so worth it because Bianca I can confirm she truly is as nice as she appears to be on TV. She was so sweet. I did cry. I told her how much I love her, how much she means to me, and how she motivates women like me to follow our dreams, to get up out of bed every single day and do what we love to do, and to never listen to criticism that goes against us, our beliefs, what we want to do. And I got to touch that bell. I got to hug her. She is truly just the greatest of all time to me. And to meet her was a dream come true. And I still I have the action figure that she autographed right here. Very, very cool.
Oh, nice.
She is just a dream come. She was the number one wrestler that I've wanted to meet, and now that I can check that off my bucket list, it's just I feel so blessed, truly.
Did you get to tug the braid a little bit, or did she?
I did.
She did. She let you.
When I had hugged her, it kind of swung and hit my back a little bit, and she's like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, don't be sorry. That was an honor. Are you kidding me?"
When you came up, did she do the twirl with it a little bit? And
she didn't, but she was just she was kind of laughing a little bit because I just walked up and was immediately in tears. I just didn't really know exactly what to say to her, but I remember just being I just want to tell you that you mean so much to me and women just like me, and you are an inspiration to me, and you are the reason that I once again fell back in love with wrestling after not watching it for a while, because following your journey was motivating, inspiring, and entertaining on top of all of that as well.
Is it true that she makes her own gear?
All her own gear, yeah, she really does.
I remember during the pandemic the women did a don't rush challenge where they they threw the thing, and she's on the sewing machine putting her sparkles and whatnot. Angel, what would be your gear if you were gonna put Bianca inspired gear? Are you gonna grow it out? Angel, you should grow out a braid just like Bianca. What do you think?
I mean, my hair is actually the longest that it's been in a while. I haven't cut my hair since freshman year, and I'm halfway through my junior year. So, I mean, I do need to grow my hair out a little bit more. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll grow my hair out as long as Bianca's. I mean, it's pretty cute. But as of gear, ooh, purple sparkles. That's all I gotta say.
Yes.
Purple sparkles. Is that a sleigh? Do I snap my fingers and slay? Right.
Slay.
Now, I'm thinking my hair's getting pretty long. Maybe I should go for the Lance Archer braids. I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Go for that. Go for a little bit of the murder hawk there. Well, let's take a look. This next photo requires some explanation.
I had a feeling this one would pop up. Oh, God.
I'm sure nothing nefarious is happening in this photo at all.
This is sometimes I regret posting because my parents found this picture and they were like, please explain this to us because we know you were at work when you posted this.
It's obvious you're pointing at what is this strange thing I've never seen before or tasted.
So that is a bottle of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this lovely group of friends that they're always kind of hanging out on the street that I work at. It's actually how I met them on my first job. And after work, I love to just go out there and just sit with them because they're usually sitting on the patio, and we just sit out there and we have a chat. And this was, I believe, a Saturday night, and they had just shown up with this bottle of vodka, and they were sitting on the patio with cutting up lemons and limes. And I should have told them not to do that because I work there, but I love them so much. I couldn't. And I just thought this was a very fun moment. I did not drink any of the vodka, Cap. I don't, I was not interested. I was very tired, but I just thought it made for a very funny picture. And I got a lot of questions about this one.
It should probably generate a lot of content. Hey, you know what? There's no such thing as bad content if it gets the engagement, right?
Absolutely.
So Angel Marie, of course, you're going to wait till you're 21 before you imbibe on anything. Of course, you know, we're going to make sure of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Positive vibes here. This was also pretty cute. AEW Women's Champion.
This was so crazy. This was WrestleMania weekend. This was WrestleCon. I remember this was while Mariah and Tony were still kind of like at the very beginning of their story in a way, just when like they had started to become like friends. And I always tell this story, but I always love telling it because when we had gone into the convention center, Mariah was sitting at her table. There was nobody in line waiting for her. She was literally sitting there on her phone. And I was so nervous, like about to start crying. So I was with my best friend. I walk up to the table and I'm like, "Hi, Mariah. I love you so much." And she, God bless her, she seemed so surprised that somebody was so excited to meet her. And she was so sweet. And I believe it cost like $80 for the photo and the autograph combo. But she literally gave it to me for free because I was so excited to meet her. She is so kind. And I'm just so excited to see her as the women's world champion, getting all this attention that she rightfully deserves. And now I know that if she does go back to WrestleCon, she will have a line out the door the way she deserves. So to see her growth is just so tremendous. And I'm so grateful that I got to kind of be there in the beginning and just be like, show her that love that she needed. It did make me kind of sad that she was so surprised because she is just so amazing.
A couple things to unpack there. One, like how awesome, not only did you get to meet one of your favorites, but you obviously made an impact on her. Like you probably touched her. The fact like she's, you know, how many wrestlers, I know Sammy Guevara talked about when he started, that he had nobody at his merch table, nobody at his tables, you know, maybe one or two people might kind of recognize him. And then he just kept grinding. And then now, you know, he gets him out the door. That's got to be an incredible moment to have that. And it's got to be inspiring to, you know, just keep stepping. You never know. You know, like, and I agree. I mean, Angel Marie, we talk about Mariah May and how she's doing in AEW and how she's really blossomed. I mean, people are really getting to see what she can do. You know, she's gorgeous, but she's also great in the ring. She's great at both the promos and the storytelling. You know, that emoting storytelling in the ring, where you know when she takes a bump, you know, she reacts, and I think that's tremendous. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
I have her. Let's point her out. She's right here. That picture that she's signing right there. I put her right up there. It was such a great moment, and it was so kind of her to do that for me, and I'm just so glad that I was able to show that love for her.
Do you collect? Do you have quite the collection of autographs? Is that your
I do. So these are not only like wrestler autographs. Well, I only have one, which is Mariah, but I also have wrestler art. And then I love to go to this convention called Monster Mania Con, where because I'm a big horror movie fan, so a lot of horror actors will go. So I have Fiona Dorff here, Chucky's daughter. I have Sophia Lillis from It. She's there. And then, of course, I have like my wrestling art. Like I have Rhea, I have Liv, John Cena. I have quite the collection.
See John Cena. I can't see him.
I know. There's just like a white patch here. It's weird.
Can never see John Cena. Never seen John Cena.
I'm Ned Runner. You're full of it. I can't believe
how did
this guy.
How did he get into? How did he get into the speakers? Get off the speakers, John Cena. Get off the speakers. All right.
He was
jumps in
ready.
there sometimes.
He was ready.
He calls me mid-runner too. I can't believe that. Anyways, yeah, we need to get the producers to keep John Cena out of here. All right. Speaking of, this looks. I mean, I think this is Washington D.C. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can tell.
This is right on Lincoln Memorial. My friend had just randomly texted me and was like, "I'm going salsa dancing at the Lincoln Memorial. Would you like to come?" And this is kind of around the time I had just moved here, and I was just like ready to explore and go out. And apparently they have these a lot in the summertime, like this group that just goes around and plays music and invites people to come dance, salsa dancing, and not just salsa, but all different types of dance. And it was so beautiful. It was a beautiful night. I think this was like July or something. And the lights, it was such a good time. And I met some great people. And it was a lot of fun just to kind of explore the city that I had just moved to. It was great view.
Was there much of a culture shock going from Philly? You said Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
Going from Philly to DC?
There really was. It's very, people do things very, very like different here. And when you've lived somewhere for 23 years or 22 years, and then you move somewhere completely different without your family, without your sister, without your parents, it was a very large adjustment. And I had to work very hard. No cap, I did not jump in the water at the Lincoln Memorial. I thought about it though. It was very hot.
I just read that in Prince's voice. Why don't you jump in the water of Lincoln Memorial?
Oh, cap. But it was, I had to work very hard to get where I am now, being in the nation's capital. But starting out here, I just wanted to go out and meet new people and just have fun and make new memories. And this was one of them. And it was just so much fun. I'm not a great dancer, but I did my best.
Well, a little bit of that mystery drink there might help you with your dancing just a little bit,
I should have invited the kids to come. I should have, yeah. Come on, guys. Let's bring some of this.
I lived in Philadelphia for about 2 years when I was a kid, and I remember they used to sell pretzels on the side of the road, and they were the best. Like, they were soft pretzels on the side of the road, and you could just get. They were like a long, kind of like this, and I remember we didn't call them subs, we called them hoagies. And I lived off of Bustleton Avenue. I don't know if you know where that is.
My God, yes. That brings back memories.
Is that old? In fact, there was Baldy Middle School was nearby where I lived. I don't know if you knew where that is. Anyways, yeah. Hey, it's a small city. I mean, it's just a city.
Yeah.
Of course, all good. Up. We have a comment from Cap Daddy.
Oh my God.
Never understood salsa dancing. Do you like to dance with salsa in your hand or something?
Good Lord, Cap.
Yes.
What are we doing?
And Pepe says, liquid courage. Liquid courage always.
Always. Maybe not in this picture, but most of the time.
Exactamundo.
Ooh.
Let's talk about this.
WrestleMania. This was not only was this my first WrestleMania, but this was my first ever premium live event that I was in attendance for. Nice. I have only been to like Raws, Monday Night Raws, never been to a SmackDown, and the super shows or house shows that they do. So when they announced that WrestleMania 40 was going to be in my hometown, me and my best friend were so excited. It felt like, because WrestleMania 39, we sat in my bedroom on my couch and watched Roman beat Cody in silence. We were both so upset. So to come back or to be in our city and have Cody beat Roman felt like we were finishing our story. It felt like a complete 360 from a year ago, almost crying on my couch, to being in our hometown and watching this happen. And this picture is from the Judgment Day entrance, but the lighting was just so cool.
Was this with R-Truth at the time? Was R-Truth part of Judgment Day at that time? Yeah, he was always with Judgment Day since he was a baby. But
yeah, he was an awesome Truth at this. But this was incredible. The amount of overtime I put in to be able to afford these tickets. Good Lord, no regrets. But it was just it was very cold the first night. I remember that.
Mhm.
But just an unbelievable experience that I will just remember forever. I'm so, so grateful that I was able to be there because it was just so much fun.
And Cody not finishing the story. I'll never look at rubber chickens again. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God.
If
I
you know, you
know.
know.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the last one. There were a couple others, but for time, there was one of you with a nice mug of looks like coffee or tea, and you're looking out on the Florida swamp or something. It looked like it was a nice serene. But just since I didn't include it, just you're gonna have to picture it in your mind, everybody. Just imagine what that is.
I love how I don't even remember what I post on my own Instagram.
That could be a good thing, though. That actually could be a good thing. Well, we would like to talk a little bit about, we'd like to get your perspective as we go through the hot off the presses women's wrestling news. So, ladies and germs, it is time for the women's wrestling news. All right, I think that said Mindrunner needs a haircut. I don't know if that's what that said in there, but let's get to it. Women's wrestling news. The first thing, which surprisingly caused some controversy, but Samantha Irvin is leaving WWE. I think it seems sudden, but I wanted to let's start with you, Maddie, and then I want to hear you, Angel Marie. Your thoughts on Samantha Irvin leaving, Lillian Garcia basically replacing her.
I'm still I'm surprised, but I'm also not surprised. I think when Ricochet departed and went to AEW, we all kind of saw, at least I kind of saw this eventually happening. I just remember seeing it on Twitter, and then I texted Mary and she's like, "Please tell me you're joking." It is sad because I think she has made history as one of the best and coolest, and she's such a chill person, coolest ring announcers that we've had. But at the same time, I am just so excited to see what she's going to do next, whether it's her singing or whether she's going to stay in wrestling and do more with that. I will obviously follow her journey, but I am really going to miss her, especially with, the certain Chelsea Green and all that. Nobody does that like her. So I think it is very bittersweet because we have so many great memories with her and we're excited for her and what she's going to do next. But it is sad. It is sad to see her go, but Lillian Garcia coming back is so, so cool. It just brings back so many memories, and I'm so happy that she got such a warm reception when she first came back. And it felt like, in a sense, in this picture here, that Lillian was passing the torch to Samantha, but it seems perhaps that wasn't really the case. But, it's just two incredible women sharing this moment. And now I think we're still going to see amazing things from Samantha, but maybe just not in the WWE anymore.
Yeah, all right. We got a message incoming from Cap Daddy. At first, I was like, "No, Samantha won't be able to." And
oh my God,
WWE World Heavyweight Champion, yeah, Cena. But then Lillian came back full time, so he's happy again. Very good, very good.
Wonderful, Cap.
Courtney, welcome home. She just got home, fam. Good to see you. Yeah, Angel Marie, your thoughts? You think is WWE going to be the same without Samantha? You think it's good to see Lillian back?
Ooh. Yeah, it's not going to be the same, but I am really happy to see Lillian back. I remember Lillian from my childhood, but I really am going to miss the Chelsea Green. Oh, that's so sad. I'm going to miss it, bro, but I mean, hey, we got Lillian Garcia, so I guess that kind of evens it a little bit.
I think so. I would actually put Samantha up there with Justin Roberts as far as beyond, because what a lot of people don't realize till you go to a live event is how much the MCs do. With Justin Roberts, he's like the ring the ringmaster. He's constantly engaging the fans when they're on commercial break. He's all, "Hey, who's got Mariah May signs," and all this kind of stuff. And one thing I love the most about Samantha, I hope she does stay with wrestling, is her reactions. Like the camera will cut to her reactions, and they'll cut to her and she's like, and didn't she pop when The Rock first came back? Didn't she like pop? There was like a shot of her popping.
Yeah.
Really bad. I just thought that was really cool. So I agree. I think we all agree. We wish you the best, Samantha. Do you think, Maddie, do you think she's going AEW? What's the over-under?
I thought so, but then I saw Ricochet be like, she's not coming to AEW, don't worry. So I don't know, maybe that was him trying to throw people off. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be super surprised if she showed up there, but I don't know. I just if she does, I'll be happy for her because I would just love to see her stay in wrestling. But if she wants to do other things, and by all means, because she has talents in other areas as we've seen, so maybe she wants to explore that too.
Now, Angel Marie's going to accuse me of putting on the tinfoil hat.
Uh-oh.
But Ricochet chose his words carefully. He said Samantha Irvin is not going to AEW.
Oh.
But as you know, when you leave WWE, you change to, you might use a shoot name or you might come in as a different name. So, I mean, Delta's now Zarya, you've got all kinds of things going on. So just a thought. Is that how's that on the tinfoil hat meter there, Angel Marie?
Tinfoil hat is crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, bro. That's like, if I don't, maybe it's not Cap. Wait, am I saying slang? I literally said, "Don't be saying slang."
You said Cap. You hear that, Cap?
All right, I do want to. This next one's a bit of a serious one, but we'll get back to the lighthearted. But we really push and try for elevating women's wrestling, and we want to elevate that. We want women to have us feel like they're safe in the wrestling environment. One of the things Mission Pro really pushes is for safe locker rooms, safe for the women, and the men to promote a safe working environment. And I think there's still some of the old guard that needs to kind of evolve, and it's good that we're moving forward. But recently, Max Caster, I don't know if you saw this. Max Caster retweeted, or I guess reposted, a post about Drew Gulak. Now, if you remember, Drew Gulak was under fire for, the first thing was Ronda. He had allegedly tugged on Ronda Rousey's like string for her, like a sweatpants or sweatshorts or something. And then some more people came forward with how he would make them feel uncomfortable. And that varied. Like some of it was just, he's kind of an a-hole. And then some of it was, he was like creepy. And so WWE let him go. And then, so now apparently he was at an independent show wrestling Masha Slamovich, which he maybe, is that death by Masha? I mean, I don't know. That's suicide right there, because she's wrestled a bear before. But he started this shtick now where at the beginning of wrestling, when he started the match, before he started the match with Masha, he asked her, do I ever make you feel uncomfortable? Was I a danger in the locker room? Like, he's doing this whole shtick, and it's like a gimmick. So it's almost, it feels like, or it comes across like he's kind of making light of his departure from WWE, the controversy. I feel funny about like canceling people completely. I want, people need to work, and you need to be able to forgive people and all that. But I don't know if this is the right move here for him. But even to compound that, Max Caster reposted, "Love this, clap, clap." And since then, that drew, controversy is no stranger to Max Caster, but that drew a ton of backlash to the point where Tony Khan had to actually put out a statement. You can read the statement there, but basically saying we don't condone any of this. You put all these organizations, so Max Caster got an earful. He'll probably, at minimum, suspended. So I wanted to ask your thoughts about, the Gulak and Max Caster, but not necessarily dwell on the negative, but just kind of how far we've come to where something like this is immediately pounced on. And, Maddie, you can jump in.
I have so many opinions on Max Caster, but I think a lot of us can willingly say, "Oh, I'm not the biggest Ronda Rousey fan," but if you put that aside and listen to what she had to say and her experience, and as a woman, I've been in similar situations that she described, and so I definitely felt empathy, sympathy for her. Even if she's the baddest woman on the planet, she still is very valid in what she feels, and I feel saddened in a way that this almost discredits her and discredits women in general when they make these types of claims, when they feel brave enough to come out about their experiences. It's I feel like things like this are the reason that claims like Rhonda made are not taken seriously when they should be. And that is very detrimental to women and women's mental health and their experiences. And then that further causes them to feel afraid to speak up or speak out because they feel like no one will believe them or no one will take them seriously. And that's why so many women don't speak up about experiences like this. As far as Max Caster, I don't understand his MO. I don't understand why he continues to. I do think he is the type of person that loves attention, whether it's negative or positive for him. Any publicity is good publicity. And I'm not that type of person, so I can't understand. I think that perhaps he is just, and maybe this is a bit harsh, but perhaps he is so deprived of attention in his personal life that he feels the need to make such controversy, to make noise. Please give me attention. It's fascinating to me because his partner, Anthony Bowens, does not do anything like this and seems to be a very wonderful human being. So, whether or not maybe Max Caster at the end of the day is a good guy, but he just continues to embarrass himself, in my opinion. And when you support things like this and just kind of make light of a woman be feeling brave enough to share her experience, it's very disheartening. And I think it sets back the women's division when our goal in 2024 and going into 2025 should be to uplift women's wrestling, just everything we can do and make women as comfortable as possible to where when they have these experiences, they can feel comfortable speaking out the way Rhonda did.
I want to ask both of you, and Angel, I want to ask you, and then back to Maddie. If Drew Gulak, after this whole thing, legitimately apologized, owned it, and said, "Yeah, I was out of line," or maybe some of it is blown out of proportion, but said, "Hey, this is what happened," or he explained himself, and then seemed like legit contrite about it, would there be room to kind of at least be, you don't have to like the guy, but at least kind of forgive him? Or because this to me is just him making fun of it and trivializing it almost. And like you said earlier, Maddie, about how this kind of discourages, when it's not so much like retaliation, it's more like they don't want to make oh, I don't want to be seen as that person making trouble kind of thing. And it's and it's like the same, it's similar to not wanting to speak up at a job where you're afraid you're going to lose your job if you don't speak up. And but the Max Caster, at the minimum, I could rationalize him just saying love that he's trying to make lemonade out of lemons, that at the minimum, but read the room. But knowing that's if Max Caster didn't have a history of this kind of stuff. And the fact that, if you remember his infamous Julia Hart comments. Anyways, Angel, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's kind of really, really, really messy. But Drew, maybe if he didn't pull what he did, maybe if he truly came out and genuinely apologized, maybe somehow forgiven. I mean, definitely not forgotten, but like forgiven. But like what he did there was kind of just like, no, like making fun of it. No, that's a huge red flag. No, like that's messed up. And like you said, like then girls who like also like go through that kind of stuff, they're discouraged to like speak out about it because stuff like that happens. So it's really bad. It's bad.
We talk about one of our favorites, or one of my favorite wrestlers, is Sammy Guevara. The man he is today compared to the kid he was are night and day. Now, he did make some stupid comments when he was first starting out in wrestling, but directed at Mercedes Moné and then Sasha Banks. And I think the difference with Sammy and Drew, Sammy legit apologized. That from what I understand, he hashed it out. Like he hashed it out. Doesn't make it right. Such a terrible thing, but is there room? Is there a difference between a Drew Gulak and a Sammy Guevara? And Angel, what do you think? And then Maddie, I'd like to know your thoughts.
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, with Sammy, he went and he actually apologized, but with Drew, he hasn't said anything, and he's also joking about it. So that's definitely not what you want to do in a situation like that, because that makes you look way worse than you already look.
Maddie, what are your thoughts?
For me, it would kind of depend on Rhonda and what she feels, because this was her experience. This was, if he does apologize, which I unfortunately doubt he will, then it's completely up to her whether or not she accepts that. And if he were to apologize and she does accept it, then, I think everyone does deserve a second chance. You mentioned Sammy Guevara. I personally am not a fan, just because I felt that whole, and I don't want to hold it over his head because I know he did apologize, but that was just so damning in a way to me, to speak about a woman like that. I do think it was really great of him to speak to Mercedes one-on-one. That is something that, in my opinion, a real man would do. So that was really great to see, but definitely left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth personally. When it comes to Drew, I think that if, he doesn't even have to post anything online. He could just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Rhonda, like, I'm really sorry that this is what happened." And if she wishes to share that, cool. If not, but at the end of the day, it sucks that, he's taking a woman's unfortunate experience and turning it into something that he can use for his own benefit, for his own career. It's very disappointing to see.
Should Max Caster be suspended or fired or fined?
And this might be a hot take. I think Max Caster should have been fired a while ago.
Okay.
For other comments that
I think a lot of people would agree with you. The chat, I think, would agree with you. they're roasting Max Caster in the chat right now. But
although I don't like Sammy Guevara, and I see some people push for him to be fired, I don't think that he should have. I think his punishment. He was, I believe, suspended for what he said about Mercedes, and he took the time to apologize, to grow as a human being, like you said, and work on himself. And that, like you said, is night and day between the difference between Sammy and Max. And even though I'm not a Sammy fan, I could still see that and respect that. And I truly do. But I do think Max should have been fired quite a while ago. There's several things he said that is just obviously off script, unnecessary, derogatory. I think he is a very ignorant person, and I would love to see him grow and change and, be a real man. But until then, I think he treats social media like a toy for his own benefit, and he's just trying to get as much attention as he can. And that truthfully makes me feel really bad for Anthony Bowens, who seems like a wonderful person, an incredible talent, and I don't think he deserves to be put under scrutiny based on what his tag team partner says.
And this could be the catalyst to get Anthony Bowens to finally go for that singles career that we desperately want him to go. Strap a rocket to the guy, and let's get him at least the TNT title.
Absolutely.
All right, let's pick it up here. Let's put some smiles back on our faces. Let's talk a little AEW. There were three. There's an upcoming match, and there's been some all kinds of interesting stuff. Great to see Penelope Ford back. Penelope, she's also a PA native, I
She
believe.
is.
And she's now already mixing it up with Jamie Hayter. Are you now? Mary says she's mostly WWE. Do you watch AEW?
I love AEW. It has grown on me so much. I'm always impressed by what they do. I feel like sometimes they have spots where they're not doing as good, but you could say the same thing about any wrestling company.
Yeah.
WWE does that all the time. And I think people pick on AEW way too much when they have some amazing things going. The Mariah May Tony Storm storyline, in my opinion, was the best women's feud this year. It was, and I have so much respect for Tony Khan with the way he handled that. It was perfect from start to finish, and I was so invested. So I'm so happy to see Penelope back going against Jamie, who let me ask you guys a question. How did you guys feel about Jamie returning on 0 Hour?
Okay. All right. Without revealing sources or anything, without getting into stuff I can't say on the air, maybe offline I'll tell you. I think it was different than the original plan. I think her original plan was to get involved in Britt's match. And some things backstage, and she's kind of I'll just put it to you this way. It's clear Jamie Hayter is not connected to Britt Baker anymore.
Okay.
And I'll just leave it at that. If you can kind of read between the lines there. But that was kind of a and I do think the choice in hairstyle was interesting because Rebecca Quinn, was there was rumors that Becky Lynch might show up, and you could even hear their videos when she showed up. All of a sudden, you hear Becky Lynch, oh my god, Becky Lynch, and then like, oh no, that's Jamie Hayter. Angel, what about you? Do you think that was okay at 0 Hour, or do you think there should have been a better moment?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of random. Like, I didn't even know what was happening. I had practice at that time, and then my friend just sent me, and she's like, "Oh my god, Jamie Hayter's back!" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" On the 0 Hour, I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
Right.
I was like, "It was really random," but I mean, hey, it's good to see her back. So
It's true.
I'm so stoked and I'm stoked that both ladies are back. Penelope Ford's such an underrated wrestler. She has, I think she has nothing but cartilage in her spine. Some of the moves that she does, I mean, she does. Before she went away, I was pushing for a Red Velvet Penelope Ford tag team, which would be. But let me ask you this: where are the AEW Women's Tag Team titles? Tony, come on.
It's crazy because they have so many amazing women that could be amazing tag teams, and they could have, if they were to implement those titles, they could have a women's tag team division that blows WWE's out of the water. And it's I'm waiting for it.
Please. And I thought they were getting there when Nyla and Marina Shafir were teaming up. I thought they were getting there. Renegade Twins were definitely showing up a lot. So anyways, of course, my favorite, the one and only Queen Aminata, had a banger against. You don't like Queen Aminata? Not a fan?
Oh, I love her. I love her so much. No. She is just. I just feel like I want them to give her more screen time. I want to see her more.
Well, I think it's good that she's getting TV time.
Wow.
She stepped away from Ring of Honor, and now she's getting a little bit more reps, and we're starting to see her in that championship picture. Whereas, she's kind of following in the footsteps of like a Willow, where you're seeing like she's facing Camille. She's involved in these feuds with Sasha, I almost call her Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. And so we're in the back of our mind. So like later down the line, when she does challenge, it could be I think she's somebody that eventually would be a women's champion, at least TBS champion, if not thing. And if Anna Jay surprised a lot of people, this is one of the few times the eliminator matches actually resulted in a title shot. What do you think, Anna Jay coming back from Japan? Is this an improved Anna Jay?
I always feel like there's always been something about Anna Jay that just felt like very like untapped, if that makes sense. I feel like there's so much untapped potential there. And it was fun, seeing her with a little Ty J tag team action, but I think that there's so much she can do on her own. And I'm really excited that she's getting this opportunity. I think that she's really overlooked. I'm not like, her number one biggest fan, but I've always kind of just been very interested in what she does because she's very entertaining. I think she's very, very good at what she does. I obviously don't love that she beat Mariah, my girl, but I think it's for the best because I think it's going to result in an awesome match that really puts Anna Jay on the map. Even though I don't want Anna Jay to win the title, maybe down the line, I think she could absolutely fulfill that role. And I'm just really excited that she's getting this opportunity.
And I think she's really improved a lot since coming back from Japan. I really get excited when they send wrestlers to Japan or Mexico for a little bit for like a tour of duty. I think that needs to be in a rotation. And I really wish, and this is one of the things I liked about AEW at the start. It seems like they've pulled back a little bit on it, but I love seeing AEW talent get their independent show reps going to independent shows on the weekend. I know sometimes they're worried about injury, but you got to get those, especially the young kids. They got to get those reps. They got to start, and it also helps generate future ticket sales for AEW and interest in AEW. And I think that's something I'd like to have them see. So we are going to get to the big question here in just a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about NXT. First of all, Lash Legend carrying both members of Damage Control on her shoulders there. And first of all, let's talk about that match. Just that match, and then the clueless, the clueless dressed Chelsea and Piper showing up. I think Chelsea was Alicia Silverstone and Piper was Brittany Murphy.
I love seeing Lash carry both. It's so reminiscent of Bianca Belair when she was in NXT, and I love Lash Legend so much. I still feel like she is very, very overlooked. I personally was really rooting for her to become the first ever NXT North American Women's Champion. I hope to see her win that belt or the women's title in some time because she is just somebody that I've seen improve so much from when she first started. And she is the full package to me. She's got the promo skills. She's funny. She's entertaining. She's great in the ring. She just has great chemistry with whoever she wrestles. And she is just, and I love Jakara Jackson. I love that team so much. This was very exciting for me to kind of see the women's tag division pick up a little bit when you throw Damage Control, Lash and Jakara, and now Chelsea and Piper into the mix, and they're all just kind of going at it. And it's very refreshing to see that because I feel like the women's tag team division needs that kind of reviving, and Chelsea with the fashion, she is always on point. And I actually I know Mary does too. I love this tag team of Piper and Chelsea. They obviously have been friends for so long, and it's so nice to see them doing their thing. But this was very exciting, and I'm really hoping that the women's tag titles can be put back on the map eventually.
Chelsea reminds me of both Iconics in one person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she's like take Billie Kay and Peyton Royce and put her into one person and throw in a little up. Angel, you want to explain the bottom?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, so it was, I don't remember who it was. Oh my gosh. I blanked on who she was facing, but it was Tatum versus
Jada Parker.
Somebody.
Yeah, it was Jada. Jada
there you go. Thank you. Okay, Jada. Okay, I was like, I'm forgetting her name. Okay, it was Tatum versus Jada. That kind of rhymes. Not intentionally, okay? Yep. But so it was Tatum versus Jada. Jada won, so that's that, I guess. And then afterwards, you see Wendy Chu pull Tatum out of the ring and throw her in a box. Tatum got kidnapped, bro. What are we gonna do? Tatum got kidnapped. Tatum. Poor Tatum, bro.
She got put in a toy box.
Oh god.
Yeah.
She got put in a toy box.
Yeah.
In case Maddie, you haven't noticed, Angel Marie's favorite wrestler is Tatum Baxley, or probably
very good taste.
Yeah, very good taste.
It's definitely not.
What are we gonna do about playtime now?
Ooh.
What
Gosh,
are we gonna do?
playtime. Ooh, you know.
Well, let me ask you.
You want to go, Maddie?
Either one. I was going to ask you about the crossover where with Wendy Chu, Rosemary, this NXT TNA crossover. What do you? Is it this? To me, this has been tremendous. You know, you've had hopefully Jordan Grace comes back. I'd love to see. I think I sent you Jordan Grace versus Delta. Yeah, that was a tremendous. And then I think it's been beneficial for everybody, especially even that one. What was that one guy from Scotland that came over? Maddie, what's that guy from Scotland that do you know what I'm talking about? He's a TNA, but he came to NXT.
I believe I know who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
Well, if you say it, maybe he'll appear. I don't know.
Are you talking about Joe Hendry?
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
All right. I forgot to take off the comment because it looked like he was happy that Tatum got kidnapped. So I gotta.
Oh,
he's like. Good stuff, though. I mean, and again, I'd love to see this continue. Let's jump to the SmackDown and Raw stuff. Which, all right, the fact that I only have this little bit to recap for Raw and SmackDown, I think kind of begs the question. Hey, Hunter, maybe you ought to pick old Heartbreak Kid's brain a little bit on the women's division. What do you think, Maddie?
I want to start with positive first. So I'll talk about Candice LeRae, who is just unbelievable. I love her so much, and I truly think she is, maybe a hot take, one of the best women's wrestlers in the WWE. I think she is just
no lies detected. No cap.
No cap. That's right. You hear that, Cap?
Oh no.
I'm very excited for her to get this opportunity, but for me, it's not enough. I want her to. I'm praying that they bring in women's mid-card titles. If they do, Candice LeRae needs that. I want to see her get a shot at one of the main roster women's titles. For her to be so incredibly talented, showcase that in NXT, and then be overlooked on the main roster. A little frustrating, but this was a great win for her. I'm really happy. You could tell how happy she was. And the winning against Bayley. Bayley is just so admirable and tremendous. She was always putting over other women, and I just have so much respect for her for it. So here's to hoping Candice LeRae gets even more in the future. As far I don't know how you guys feel, but Mary and I are very tired of the Liv and Rhea feud.
Looks like the chat is too. Yeah, the Cap Daddy says, yeah. I liked it. I when it happened, I liked this, but there's one of those things where it's diminishing returns.
Yeah.
And I do think bringing in, I do think there's only so much you can add to a storyline before it just becomes, all right, that's enough. Let's move on. I do like that they, the fact that they split Judgment Day up, and that helped, and how she kind of was involved in that whole thing. But I don't know. Angel, is it time to put a fork in it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wasn't even there to watch half of the storyline because I always have Monday night practices at and they don't end until 8:30. That means I don't get home till 9. So I didn't even get to watch half of it, but I was already kind of tired of it anyways. I think maybe we should move on to something else, please. I mean, I love the storyline, but it's kind of died down.
Yeah.
Fantasy booking. How do we split them up? Who does Rhea feud with next? Who does Liv feud with next? And does Liv keep the title?
I do think that Liv should win this feud overall. I really do. I think that would. I mean, Rhea and I have nothing bad to say about either of these women. They're absolutely tremendous, but it's just Rhea has so many accolades. She's beaten Charlotte Flair. She's beaten Becky Lynch. She's had multiple WrestleMania moments. Liv has not had any WrestleMania moments except winning against Natalya on the WrestleMania pre-show a few years ago, if you even count that. So I understand that she's supposed to be like the scaredy cat heel, but for me, they're just making her look so weak, and they're making Rhea, in my opinion, look a little too strong. It's a little frustrating. There's so many great women that Liv could defend against. I would love to see her defend against Lyra Valkyria, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, literally anybody but Rhea. And the fact that Rhea has had multiple chances to get the title back and hasn't, okay, great. She's had her chances. She didn't get the title back. Let's move on. And it's just, at this point, if their overall goal is to give Rhea the title back, I feel like they should have done it already. But I would really like to see Liv win this feud because she needs something to really establish her. And if she loses this feud, and then I kind of fear that WWE will really never establish her.
Yeah. I think Liv needs, her next feud needs to be a glow up.
Yeah.
I think Naomi, I call her Trinity, but Naomi, I think is I think that would be a great feud. Yeah, and let's get some, maybe there's some people that are in NXT. What about Roxanne Perez going to the main roster?
Oh God, Roxanne is just she's younger than me, and she is just so ahead of her time. She is unbelievable, and honestly, she's having the best reign out of all the women's champions in WWE right now, and I don't think many people will debate that because she's so good. And Nia Jax, shout out to Nia Jax, I think she's doing great as well. But Liv's reign is surprisingly the most showcased, and it's the weakest reign because she's not defending against other women. They're constantly going back and forth. But with Roxanne, she is just so gifted in the way that she not only makes her opponent look good, especially if they already are good, but just gives them that spotlight. Like Jada Parker, for instance, she had a great match against Roxanne. And then I was happy that a lot of people got to see how great Jada really is. And now she's got a bigger spotlight on her. So Roxanne's reign, in my opinion, is so much more beneficial for the other women on the roster, whereas Liv's reign and Rhea's, when she had it, was just not. And it just kind of excluded all the other women from being a part of it.
Agree 100%. I absolutely. Let's it's time for our All right, Angel, let's talk the Izzy. Give us the Izzy report, Angel.
Okay, so for the Izzy report this week, last week we actually had Carolina Cruz on the podcast, and Carolina hinted at maybe taking up Izzy Moreno's challenge because she is going to be at Ladies Night Out 14. So may or may not face Carolina Cruz to defend her Mission Pro Championship. We don't know. But this weekend at the Hybrid School of Wrestling, it's going to be London Dior versus Izzy Moreno, and spoiler alert, I think Izzy's winning.
Well, you are a little biased. She is your BFF after all, so I can understand. Yeah. London Dior, don't underestimate her. She's got some serious guns. Oh, yeah. She's got some serious muscle to her, and don't let the smile fool you because that smile can fade quick. Maddie, have you ever had a chance to see Izzy wrestle or watch any of London Dior's matches?
I've seen a few of Izzy's matches, and she's come such a long way. She has such a natural gift, and she's so fun to watch. She's just so fun to watch. I love her energy, and that energy never fades. She brings it every single time. I've seen, I think, 1 or 2 of London Dior's matches. I haven't seen too many. I would love to see more, but from what I've seen, she is incredible, and I think she could be a real star. I would like to see that.
And I'd like to see that. And Carolina Cruz, let's fingers crossed, because I'd love to see that former rugby player, the former Emma Diaz. Now she's on cruise control, and she said she's going to do her tour in the Indies, and then she's planning on either coming back to WWE or she's going to be hitting up some other promotions. So we'll see. There's your Izzy report. And here's our quote of the week from Mickie James. Angel, if you can read the quote of the week from Mickie James for us.
Okay. This is a shining... oh my gosh. This is Shining example of never say quit, never give up, and never say never. I proved everyone wrong. So don't give up on your dreams because you're going to prove everyone wrong.
That's right.
And I think she definitely has done that. Well, before we go, I feel like there's one match we may have not talked about. I'm trying to think of what that was. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about our banger of the week.
Hold on to your Kulos Mission Pro fans. Rock on, it's the banger of the week.
All right, and unanimous, our banger of the week, Stephanie Vacour, Julia versus Fallon Henley's crew here. All right, just really quickly, stoked about this, but we're definitely going to talk about the aftermath. Maddie, what were your thoughts on this?
It was just such a great match. Obviously, we know how incredible Julia and Stephanie are, but Stephanie especially, just like Roxanne, like I was saying earlier, has the ability to bring out the best in her opponents. Fallon Henley especially really shined for me in this match. I love Fallon, and I just feel like she was so good. JC Jane is always on top of her game. So I really am loving Fatal Influence. They are very entertaining, and for them to get this little spotlight was a lot of fun. I think that Julia and Stephanie were really selling for them, and just the chemistry was there. It was just, I love classic women's wrestling like this, where it's just straight to the point. They're selling, they're doing the thing, and I loved it. It was definitely match of the week for me. Banger of the week for me.
Banger of the week. And to talk about Fatal Influence, I think they were the perfect opponents for. And when I say this, I don't mean this as jobber. I mean they were a great warm-up match for what's coming for Halloween Havoc. I love how far Fallon, the former Tesha Price, has come.
Yeah.
Because I remember when she was on AEW Dark wrestling as Tesha Price, and just I was like, okay, she just was missing that one little thing. And I think she's found it in NXT. I think she's definitely found it with that. And then, of course, Stephanie Vacour, Julia actually seemed to be taking a lot of bumps in this match.
Yeah.
She actually seemed to be on the receiving end. Definitely, the hot tag went to Stephanie, and she has a unique move set. Angel, what did you think of before we get to the aftermath? What did you think of this tandem of Julia and Stephanie Vacour versus Fatal Influence?
Yeah, I love the match. I was like, okay, Papa. I was intrigued the whole entire match. I was like, oh my gosh, like Stephanie and Julia have arrived, man. It's crazy and it's awesome.
My favorite moment is the bottom right when Fallon gives her a boot to the face, and Stephanie just does like the Undertaker kind of like, oh no, you didn't.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And again, it was great. And just you can see on the bottom left, the high flying. I'm not saying Julia didn't look bad, but Julia was definitely she was setting Stephanie up for the hot tag. And I think that was smart, because we've already seen Julia wrestle in NXT. But we wanted to see some fresh moves of Stephanie, and we got a taste. To quote Daddy Magic, we got a taste of what we're going to see on Halloween Havoc. And then, of course, the aftermath. We had okay. What did you think of the aftermath of the match? Maddie first.
I'm very, very excited for this tag team action at Halloween Havoc. I am really pulling for Stephanie and Julia to get the win. It'll be good to see Cora Jade back in action. Excited about that. And of course, it's always a pleasure to see Roxanne wrestle at the ring. I'm super excited to see Roxanne's chemistry with Stephanie, especially because we haven't seen those two go at it yet. So that'll be fun. But the aftermath was fun. I love Miss Kalani Jordan. I love her getting involved. And I mean, it was just such a spectacular main event. And the fact that so many women were showcased was just, it was such a nice feeling. It was so good to see,
Yeah. I really would like that to be repeated in other places. Definitely.
The main roster,
But
yeah.
to me, I think this shows you that the stories are there, and you can hear the crowd. I mean, it wasn't like the crowd going, "Oh," the crowd was going crazy. And Keilani Jordan, I feel like gets a bum rap. I don't know how you feel about Keilani Jordan. Do you feel she gets the respect she deserves, or do you feel like she might be a little bit overrated?
I definitely don't think she's overrated. I think she is a bit overlooked. I think that I understand that a lot of people, she was not their first pick to win the NXT North American Women's Championship and be that inaugural champion. I mean, I was personally rooting for either Lash Legend or Sol Ruka, but at the end of the day, she's a great champion. She's having a good run. She's consistent. She's having great title defenses. There's really nothing to complain about. She is incredible, and I think she has more than earned the respect, and it should be put on her name. And I know Cap says it should have been.
Yeah.
You know what? We take what we're given, and we're being given an amazing title run. So I don't really think there's any room to complain.
Who do you think Keilani faces at Halloween Havoc? Is it going to be Fallon?
I feel like it should be JC Jane, considering she's the leader of Fatal Influence, but I would love to see Fallon Henley get a title shot. Either way, I think Kalani retains no matter what, but I do see it being JC Jane.
Do you agree, Angel? Do you think JC Jane is going to be the you think it's going to be JC Jane?
I think it's going to be JC Jane. And speaking of like all the aftermath, I thought it was really cool because I did my digging and I realized that we know Roxanne is a Mission Pro alumni, right?
Mm-hmm.
I also found out that JC Jane also was with Mission Pro at one point.
Yep. Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And Cora Jade, when she wrestled as Elena Black, I believe, was her name before then. Absolutely, yeah. But Roxy was at the very first Mission Pro event, Genesis, and you can go watch it on TitleMatchNetwork.com. You can actually see her riding into the ring on top of Ricky Stark's shoulders. It's such a cool moment. And Madi Rinkowski, who the now Rin Sinclair, she faced Jazz, the Phenom. So you definitely want to go check that event out. It's a classic. But that was, what a way to end. It was such a great ending. I don't think anything else happened at the very, very end when the credits were getting ready to roll. Lady Brock Lesnar showed up.
Oh boy.
the Australian juggernaut, if you will. Basically, well, now she's going by Zarya, but the former Delta. And it's one of the things that she's got, a lot of fans compare her to Rhea Ripley, which I think is a bit unfair. I mean, I understand the accent and the size, which if you have Rhea versus Zarya in a match, I'm not going to be upset at all.
Nope.
I'm not going to turn down a steak dinner, but yeah, and if you get a chance, by the way, you got to go check out 2 weeks ago with Delta versus Jordan Grace. It is the female equivalent of big men slapping man meat. The meat chance. This was there was no fancy stuff. I mean, there were some like suplexes off the top rope, but brutal. But okay, your first impression of Zarya, Maddie.
I'm scared in a way. She's a little scary, but she looks so cool. Yeah. Like, she is just, look at her. She's beautiful. And I understand the Rhea comparisons, but in a way, Zarya is just in a lane of her own, and she's about to do her own thing. And she just looks amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that NXT now has all these. They already had amazing women, and they're just bringing in even more amazing women. Yes. And it's just so cool to see. So I am just so excited. I have no idea what she's gonna do, but I'm very excited for whatever it is.
Cap Daddy.
Oh, Cap. Can't take you anywhere, Cap.
Yeah, imagine like Megan Bain. I think Megan's on her way to AEW. She might be joining Deonna Purrazzo's Mafia or something like that, but we'll have to see. Awesome to see Zarya. Angel, your thoughts on Zarya?
Yeah, I did not know Delta Zarya outside of what I know right now, but I am so ready. She looks so menacing. She looks like she's straight out of a comic book. I think she's gonna put the whole women's division on notice for sure.
Do you start her off as kind of like a Brock Lesnar? Do you have her just go through the roster and then eventually build her way up to some? And I mean, because she can go. I mean, she can do a 20-30 minute match, no problem. But like, do you start her off against, like, I mean, I hate to say it, but do you start her off with like a Ren Sinclair and just have her? Or wouldn't that be? Or do you have her feud with like Chelsea Green and Piper?
Honestly,
fantasy booking, Angel, what would you do?
Fantasy booking. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, you got to build her up. I mean, because if you just shoot someone like straight to the top, that ruins everything. So definitely start building her up first. She's probably gonna like demolish people, but I mean, hey, that makes her look stronger, and she looks pretty strong to begin with. So I mean, hey,
love it. Maddie, what are your thoughts? You think just have a run through people, fantasy booking?
I think it's always more interesting to me when a wrestler also has weak spots along with strong spots. So the way I like what they're doing with Julia, they didn't have Julia immediately win the title. They had her lose. Of course, she didn't lose clean. So I would like to see Zarya go through the same kind of obstacles that we've seen the other women go through. I think her just bulldozing through everybody that isn't very interesting. It doesn't really make for a great story. To see her have triumphs and defeats and then triumphs once again is much more interesting to me. So I would love to see her just, I don't know, dream match. I mean, you mentioned Rhea Ripley. That would just be so cool. Honestly, Zarya and Nia Jax would be fun. Like, I feel like that's something Nia could really work with.
And she scoop slams Nia Jax.
Yes, exactly.
And the crowd goes, oh!
It would be so cool.
That would be tremendous. I predict she's going to run through some of the lower card folks, and then someone like Jada Parker is going to be like her first kind of like, not bump in the road, but her first legit kind of, okay, this is going to take longer than a squash kind of thing. And I don't want her to squash people, but I think it's important for her to be this menacing and intimidating person. I'd love for like Chelsea Green to be talking smack and then she's standing behind her. Kind of. I think that would be tremendous. Zarya versus Piper Niven. Zarya versus Lash Legend.
Yes.
Zarya versus Bianca Belair would be pretty freaking awesome.
With Bianca winning, of course.
Of course. With Zarya maybe putting her hair into a ponytail as well.
Yeah.
But awesome stuff. Well, that is the banger of the week. And we are actually overtime, but it's never overtime when we're all having fun talking wrestling. Maddie, it has been such a pleasure having you. We'd love to have you back. We'd love to have both you and Mary back. Maybe what we could do, since we did a WWE draft, maybe what we'll do is either we could do a AEW draft, or we could form our own tag team division where you can draw from any promotion. And we got to draft like tag teams. And you can mix and match. You could put Mariah May with Bianca Belair as a tag team. Glamour EST.
Yes, that would be so much fun. We would love that. Oh my gosh. So
really quick. So before we go, let's make sure I got you. And I got to ask you, is it Kennedy with an I or Kennedy with a Y? I put I because that was your Instagram handle. But
it is with a Y. I just like the way it looks better on the Instagram tag.
All right, let me formally apologize to Angel Marie, who accurately put a Y at the end, and I said, no, I think it's an I. And she's like, no, I think it's a Y. And I'm like, oh, I think it's I. She's like, all right, whatever. And so I am wrong. I admit. Cone of shame for me. I understand. I am Skibbity Riz. I understand. But on behalf of Angel Marie and on behalf of Maddie at Meet Us in the Ring podcast, Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, check them out. Cool stuff. You got to check out that Simon Miller interview that Mary the Heel did. What do you guys have? What do you guys have upcoming?
Mary and I, we have a lot of fun ideas. We definitely want to dip back into our Def Rebel tier list at some point. Obviously, we have Crown Jewel coming up, so we're going to be talking about that. And there's just so many ideas, and I have so many more ways I can irritate Mary, so I'm very excited.
I just have another idea we need to do.
Oh, okay.
And this will be one that we will obviously will not get monetized for because of what the nature of it. Let's do Name That entrance music. I will host it. Yes. We'll get Angel Marie, Maddie, and Mary. And you'll hear just the first opening of a theme, and you have to guess who it is.
Oh my gosh!
So I'll host it. We'll set that up as a special episode, cross promotion.
Absolutely,
we'll do that. Awesome. Well, Maddie, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody in the chat, Mission Pro family, thank you for being here once again. Happy birthday, Pepe, for Shizzle.
Woo!
For Shizzle. And this is Mind Runner signing off for Mission Pro Spotlight. We'll see you next.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.